Hello, and welcome to Wizard Fridays. I'm gonna have to think of a good name for it. Um, but yeah, I'm joined here with my friend of the stream, Mr. Hugo. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. What about you? It's been a busy week, but
Yeah, it's
it's
been a
getting
fun
Friday,
week.
weekend is coming on, so it was also a fun one, so I enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah, it's been a really fun week. I've really enjoyed myself this week. I think it's one of the first weeks I've had for a while where sort of trading has felt really, really fun. Because the markets just haven't been completely garbage. Um, well, they have been garbage if you're trying to swing trade, but I think from a scalp trading perspective, it's been paradise this week. You've had high volume. Everything seems to have moved in the way that I had in my head it should move. Obviously reflected in entries, and it feels like something's brewing. I'm bullish overall still. I quite like the momentum. I quite like the price action. Um, but yeah, how have you felt about it? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, my thoughts are quite the same. I enjoyed, I got some entries. I think the volume's picking up. I just look at the 7-day volume chart. Since the 21st of September, it went up with 50%. So yeah, that is a good sign. I think Q4 started, and that is normally quite a bullish month. Also
Yeah.
October, bullish quarter, and I think we could be quite nice. So I'm happy to see how that will play out. And I think we are waiting for some data to come out to really move the market, but this ranging market is working out. We get like retest levels back. We got like point of control sign trading, and that is something what I enjoy to do. And it was like last year I made a lot of money doing these tactics, and it came back. So that always makes me happy. Old strategies are working again.
Yeah, it feels like shut down. It means that we're coming through, which I think is really interesting because we're all expecting the data to be quite bad, and this feed into the narrative of rate cuts. It'll be interesting to see how this is reflected in the Fed's positioning, um, and their view of it, given the fact that they're probably now slightly blindsided. Um, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Certainly, from what I've been reading, and I think sort of giving the economic eye test, it feels like things are starting to worsen. Certainly, I look at that from a UK lens, but I think from what I've spoken to people in America, they're seeing a similar thing. Um, it all hinges on jobs. I think we've touched on that before. It's Powell has made it quite clear that jobs are his priority. Of the dual mandate, it falls more on that employment side. Um, how jobs are holding up, I think, will be really interesting when we eventually do get some of the payroll stuff through. It'll be really interesting to see how it stands up. But yeah, overall, I'm quite bullish. I think the markets have been moving in quite a nice way.
Yeah, but I also think, but is Powell, this is something I didn't look, he's also not getting any data because the government isn't he getting like secret data because they're like, okay, you are Jerome Powell, or he's not giving anything.
I imagine, I imagine, I find it hard to believe that they're not getting a view, um, and that view may come from slightly different sources. So one of the because a lot of stuff, some of the data is also kept independently. So there's organisations and researchers that will keep information outside of those traditional sources. So one such as the Carlyle Group, they keep their own view,
Mm.
almost sort of as a backup, but also as a little barometer. Um, I saw a Bloomberg article, and their forecasts weren't good. Um, but it'll be really interesting to see when we eventually do. I think, yeah, it feels like the wheels are in motion anyway. from a macro sense.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, I'm thinking the same. That's interesting. But we saw last week also the dollar gained some strength because it went
Yeah.
from 175 to 115.5 almost. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I was like, in my head there are two things, or it's literally getting stronger, or it is like a liquidity grab to go higher. Because I think they want to weaken the dollar. I think we spoke about it a little bit on
yeah,
chat
that's
on
that's
Monday,
ultimately their aim.
and I think their aim is to do a weaken dollar. So yeah, I'm already long on the dollar, and I'm looking to add more if we go lower, because we are getting at some low levels, I would say,
Hmm.
and surprising me that we are gaining strength. What's your thought on it? Are you looking to long the dollar or not really?
Not particularly. It's not really. It's not really something that's come of interest with me. I think ultimately, I think the direction of travel is still down. I think we've seen some catalysts for the dollar. Obviously, the peace agreement was one, and I think we were slightly oversold on the dollar. What worries me a little bit from an economic point of view is we've seen something really, really weird in the fact that we've had both gold and the dollar going up at the same time. Usually, those two sort of counteract each other. Um, I think there is a real rush for safety now, and looking at the market and how frothy some bits are, I think people are really running out of ideas of where to park their money. Um, how this plays out, I don't know. But I mean, the stock market, I think we're seeing the S&P is reaching those levels where it's becoming really frothy. And it's been fun because I think we're seeing now money begin to trickle down from the top end of it all the way down into some of those smaller mid caps. Um, I think some of those smaller mid caps are now stupidly overvalued, but it's all relative and it's all speculative. I think we're seeing some of this move into crypto, but we're moving into crypto at a slightly slower pace. But it feels more calculated, is how I'm reading it.
Yeah, that seems about right. I was thinking the same. Like, I think also you were discussing it, and I agreed also in the groups. There's like a lot of capital in the gold market, in the stock market. It needs to flow into crypto. I think also this morning I spoke about it with Ross, and we were discussing that like there's so much capital in the markets, and if it is not coming to the crypto market, the crypto would be dying, I would say. Like so many companies are at the all-time low. They were not expecting this to have be like such a long market. They didn't got enough money out of it, I would say. That's what I think. So I think
Yeah,
they are trying. They will need to push it, and the market makers, I think they enjoy crypto, I would say. So yeah, I think that that they will push some altcoins up to gain some cash to
yeah,
build in the bear market, because if we get a bear market now, I think half of the
yeah,
project will die.
yeah. And they've been accumulated. I think we're seeing that now with the. I used quite a funny phrase earlier in a chat with some friends. It feels like whack a mole. Like you'll look through your watch list, everything will be either dead or red, and then you'll just see like a random coin at 40%. I think we're seeing that from a privacy perspective, that rotation. Privacy coins are currently having their day in the sun. Um, I think privacy coins are always an interesting one as well because it's whether that's a way to hide some money coming in. I don't know whether it's just a case of sort of fighting back uh, is another thing, but I think it's pretty nuts. You'll go through and you'll just see everything like -5, -4%, and then you'll just see some random shit altcoin that's 60% up, and you're like, oh, why didn't I do that? And then everyone chases it. It feels like we're in that stage and that sort of altcoin phase. But ultimately, the trend for altcoins at the moment is up. Certainly, from the others chart, it's hard to say that we're not trending upwards, given the fact we've pretty much been trending upwards now since back end of June. If you're a trend line type of person, there's a nice trend line. I'm not a trend line type of person.
Maybe you can put it on the screen
Yeah, I shall
for
share
people
my
to see.
screen. I completely forgot I did not have a chart up, but yeah. So yeah, I think on the weekly, if I do get our trusty trend line, you can probably just go upwards. Yeah, you see, you just got a nice trend up there. And ultimately, I think what's quite interesting is we're now breaking into this zone here.
Yeah.
I think like that 327 is really interesting. Certainly there is a really interesting zone, that 333. You can see that's previously been resistance before we popped above there. But you'd argue, and I think this goes down to the amount that we've been diluted in the altcoin market, but we're actually not that far off where we were when Bitcoin had its first run up of this cycle. And you had that euphoria there. Had that there.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Doesn't look too bad. The other chart. I mean, we're definitely not on an all-time high, but which one looks way better? I think it was the total two. And that is like looking for a breakout, I would say.
Yeah.
We're testing the highs,
Total
made
two
a new
looks
all-time
really
high right
nice.
there, and that could be interesting if that makes like an all-time high. Then we are like, I mean, the total chart is at an all-time high. That definitely broke out, but the total two didn't yet. But that could be a nice indicator at some point.
Yeah, it's peeping
Total
above.
three is also at its all-time high. Total three is sort of retesting.
Exactly. And I think total three has readjusted now, hasn't it? In the fact that XRP is now no longer the number 3.
The total three is excluding BTC and ETH. Total two is only excluding BTC, so you would need the total 4.
Oh yeah, total 4. But yeah, BNB's had a right little run, hasn't it?
Yeah. It was like, I was comparing it to the gold chart. That looks sort of the same on the weekly.
It's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gold is just like, where does this top out?
Showing strength.
I also love the fuckery
I heard
on
16K.
gold. I love the fuckery on gold that everyone thought with the peace agreement yesterday. Like, we had this aggressive sell-off, and now they're just creeping it back up again.
Yeah, because there was like a deal, but then there were shots like an hour afterwards.
Yeah, I think it'll hold up.
It was like really sure.
I think it'll hold up. It'll be interesting to see the direction of travel it takes now. I think it was a good excuse for both sides to sort of get what they want. And it just allows people to play the grandstanding now. Obviously, Trump can do his victory laps. It keeps the people in the Middle East happy because they can now do the victory laps, like the Qataris, the Saudis, etc. have done their part in it. It'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. I think the rebuild will be quite interesting. I've spoken on that before. I have a watch list of stocks that I've been buying up that could be beneficiaries. I mean, the stock market has been nuts. I mean, the stock market is always nuts, but the stock market has been even more nuts. The last few days, I think we're really now starting to see a pickup in metals. Not obviously gold, but some of my low cap producers that I've been buying up have started to go a bit nuts. I actually had one yesterday, a metal producer. That went up 83% in a day.
So you get lucky so many times.
I buy a basket of things, so I didn't have anywhere near enough exposure to this, but someone had been putting me onto this around here as it started to run up. But yeah, I think this will be quite interesting. But there's
You
so
sold
many
off a bit, or you're still not
I took
selling?
a little bit profits. I tend to rebalance them. But that's pushed up quite nicely. I should have kept hold of that one. But yeah, as you can see, that all the low cap metal producers yesterday did ridiculous numbers, like 11%, 14%.
Yeah.
That one's ran up. It's interesting. I think it's probably one to cover in a bit more detail, but I think the rare earth minerals market is certainly one that's going to be in focus, particularly sort of that strategic importance. But yeah, in terms of cryptos, I love to see this thing starting to die off. This actually doesn't look great, does it, on a high? Because that's
You can
lower
also say
high,
it as
lower
like,
high, lower high.
yeah, but if you break the trend,
Yeah. If you put
yeah,
our
we got,
favorite trend line on.
yeah, I mean, there's also a clear bottom. Like if you would break, what is it, 290?
Yeah.
If I see it, like, yeah, there's like a
Yeah.
clear line where we are going to,
Yeah,
because
it's
there's like a
being
quite a strong support as well.
yeah, it's just being held above here, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see, yeah, if you go across there, eventually at some point it'll do it. Unfortunately.
XRP is going to the moon.
Speaking of the moon, this is have you been playing this one?
I haven't been. You're talking about BNB.
I am indeed, yes, B&B.
Yeah, no, I never touched it. This is not even on like my marked list. I've got like a marked list, and this is never on it, and I am still mad. And now currently it's almost too late to trade. Or yeah, it was like I charted it out. I charted it out before, but then I was looking at it today. I was like, I charted. I just did some extra charting on it, but it was like until. We'll quickly take a look.
I
The
got
daily time
I
frame.
longed it, but you might I got filled on one of my entries. You might chuckle. How unfortunate is this? I had two entries. I had one here and I had one on this retest. Annoyingly, I should have done it the week before because I would have got filled on it there. I took profit on this way too early. I was cutting around here. I didn't expect it to fully blow off to here, but it's something I've got my eye on because I think this area here on it could be quite interesting, as
Yeah,
with this little pocket.
yeah, I definitely agree. I think it is. I mean, at the end, CZ is best friends with the Saudis, and in my opinion, the Saudis are the richest people,
Yeah,
and they will move the market. So yeah, I still think there's like some. I think they will get really big. Maybe they will at some point be the second biggest coin. I can definitely see it
yeah,
happening, but then I'm like, okay, I don't have any spot of it. I'm not sure if I want to buy at these prices or anything.
yeah. But it doesn't actually really ever pull back. Like if you look over here, you don't like you get a pretty nasty quick pullback there, but it's all over quite quickly. You very rarely get any of these deep retracements like you do on Bitcoin, like that. It's just when it happens on BNB, it's just really, really fast and really, really violent.
Yeah, but at the end, it always moves in quite straight lines if you look back. Just
Yeah,
quite but you say it's quite violent though.
just down, up. But yeah, and then the final one on my list, Solana. It's not really done much.
Yeah,
It's
it is quite slow. Lately, Justin says XRP looks primed to pop. Yeah, it does. Will pop to the upside.
yeah, yeah. It's moving into that zone.
But I think what we can discuss, like yesterday, we both made a trade on Bitcoin and on ETH. We
We
both got
did.
sort of the same entry. We didn't talk to each other. So I'm curious, what were your thoughts that we sort of were looking at the same zone? Maybe it is interesting for the people who are watching to discuss it and like show why we made it. Because
Yeah.
yeah, there should be good reason because we both did it. We both made some nice games. So
Yeah, you front ran my entry a little bit. I'm going to see if I can find my trade that I had, because I had quite a nice setup on it. I think we both saw a slightly different thing. I had a couple of trades on it yesterday. Let me find what my entry was on it.
you had 121,680 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, 121,680.
Memory is working today.
Yeah, so I got it around. What time was it? It was in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got filled. I can see where I got filled. I got filled around 10:30 UTC +2 time. So Central European time.
Yeah, it's on. I think my setup is on one of my other chart layouts. Is it on the Wise Man? No, it's. I've got too many charts on here. Well, I've got it in front of me anyway. So I essentially, I'll get this on some time frame. So I had it on the hourly, and I can sort of chart out nakedly what I look like. So nakedly what the trade looks like, actually. Sorry, not what I look like. I don't think people want that. So it was this pocket here that I was looking at. It was this really, really nice liquidity pocket. As you can see, we had this deep retracement back down. And I think what caught my eye was, if I grab this box here and zoom in, is there was a really nice zone that I liked. This is what we like to call a really nice pocket, and I can see just how much liquidity is in this, and this is what had tempted me into the position. I wanted to take it on the retake. Actually, I'm slightly high there. It's here, as you can see under these wicks, because we had this violent wick down here before pushing back up.
Yeah, I marked out the same week. That was the same. I was looking at the same pocket, but then I got two other confluencers. It was also the previous day failure area low. So there we saw always some liquidity if it like it's not bouncing there. And I had like statistically, Bitcoin didn't make any move to the upside, it was like straight down, and that never happens. It was like a big warning that we need to get sort of some price movement little higher. So yeah. So yeah, it was like, so I had my confidence was like, okay, I'm going for it. And I think my last TP was like at the weekly open around 123 for 26.
Mm.
So,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I, in my head, it was like this back test up here. As I quite liked this wick. I didn't think we'd reclaim this one up here, but this one felt quite good. Looking at this with abject eyes now, and sort of one that we sort of missed because it wasn't the rationale for me taking it per se, but there was a beautiful back test there, wasn't there?
yeah, but that was the one before the trade.
Yeah.
And then we like, we got a little deeper, but then, yeah, but my problem was like, I will quickly go to my sort of new system where I'm looking at with the data. It was like bullish for the day, but bearish for the week. So yeah, I was really deciding what will happen. So I was like, okay, I need to wait to get some bullishness because there were like big warning flags. But then at the end, it should be bullish, bearish because we're not going to make a new all-time high. or we have had that the big deal then but it didn't seem like, statistically speaking, there was not a big chance of making a new all-time high.
No,
But yeah, it was an interesting trade.
yeah, and in all honesty, if you could zoom out onto the higher time frame as well, if you go all the way
There was
across,
like a
you can just see this lovely pocket here.
it's a nice pocket, and I think it will always be sort of a pocket and will never go away.
Yeah, because it aligns to what we had for the wise men. Is we had basically like this as an area that we would see quite a lot of consolidation in. As you can see, we pushed at the top, came down and retested, and there was a really lovely blue line that flows through that you can see has acted as some resistance there. You can see that's a lovely little pocket there. But I actually played a couple of times on it, so I had a couple of back tests which hit as well overnight. If I'm on the right chart, here we are. So I had these in. So this one was one that I'd had in for a while, all the way back from last week. That got tagged. Didn't quite get tagged there, but it got tagged there. I'm still furious at my brokerage because I didn't get tagged in on my second entry on this one. But that would have been pretty surgical. And yeah, I started to get out of it around here. I'm still holding on to a 25% runner. So hopefully it will do something. But as you can see, this seems to be quite a strong level of resistance here. This 1216 area where we previously had.
Yeah. It's also the daily open. It always gives some resistance as well.
Yeah. God, it looks so beautiful, doesn't it? Look at that. But yeah, I'd be keen to learn more. Obviously, I know we've spoken about your data lens. I think it'd be interesting to walk the viewers through and sort of show how you've been using your AI and data lens to really help your trading.
I will start sharing it. I think you can get it up, if I'm correctly.
Yeah, here we are. And Solly's going to fly soon. BNB to Sol rotation. You heard it here first. I'm sure we'll cover it more on Tuesday.
Isn't BNB bigger?
It is.
Wait, I will quickly look.
It is. Yeah. I'm sure we'll expand more on this on the wise men. I think there's some alpha to be spilled. I actually bought a Solana privacy coin today. I was going to gatekeep it, but I'll say it on stream. But yeah, there was I saw a Solana privacy coin that was doing an ICO. It's called Umbra. And I saw a lot of really respectable people that I follow in the space go in and talk about that. So that was one that I may or may not have.
Is Umbrella Network?
Nibble. It's Umbra. So it's not Umbrella Network. It's Umbra. It's not ICO'd yet, but they're raising. I can send you.
They're raising.
I can send you a link to it. I think it's open for a few more days. But they raised about 40 million, I think.
Oh, that's a lot. But then I will quickly, I will first of all say, I'm not the best in this, but I'm learning it. I'm using it for a little bit, learning about how it works. But I can tell you sort of what my findings are. What it is based on time and a distance. The time is at what time of the day did we put a P1 and P2? P1 is the first pivot point that could be the low or the high, and it's the highest point, and then the P2 is the lowest point, but can also be vice versa. And you can also get the P1 P2 flip. That will happen if the P1 is the high, P2 is the low, and we gain a new high. You get the P1 flip because then the P2 will be P1, and the P1 will be the P2. Not sure if it makes too many sense without a chart that explains it, but it changes around, and it says you can look on the hourly, 4-hour, session, daily, weekly, monthly. You can decide how much data you want to put, and then you will see how many data points you have. Currently, I will put it on manual because I like to look at only the weekdays, because Bitcoin is also open in the weekends, and I think weekends trade differently than weekdays.
Yeah.
So I prefer to put them off. So now we're looking at for the session. The session, that's the London session, that is from 6 p.m. To 12 p.m. UTC time. That's where they gained it. And then what the changes are, what will happening on the time based, and what it tells us, we got like the low at 9:55 and the high at 12:25. We see over here that for the P1 to be at Stanford has a 9.2% chance. And 4 sessions ago in the London session, this happened. So that's quite an okay chance. And then for the P2, we made at 9, also an 8% chance. And we see like a low P1 flip risk, so 4.2%, and took the session low. So we can say like, for this session, for the upcoming hours, I would prefer to look for long, because they say also it's unlikely that the P2 is in. 73.2 sessions from a new P2 after 11:25. So they think there's still some movement time-wise, but then we also look distance-wise. What we have distance-wise, we are looking like on the session. We say like, okay, the current P1, the P1 is 0.6% below an open, and the high is 0.2% above open. Yeah, they're like the chances is by more than the P1 is more than 0.6% below open. It's like 20.7%. That is, yeah, sort of okay. Like we have like a lot of data points. But then what they say, the moderate to take out the lowest 37%, but it's unlikely that the P2 is in and move further than 0.8%. So that would say that we would be looking for longs, because if we look at the summary for this session, for the summary of this session, they say like, okay, the chance that we take the low is 4.2% on time based, 37.4% on distance based. But it's unlikely that the P2 is in, so we are expecting in the upcoming. Well, no, we are expecting this one will be closing soon, if I'm saying it correctly, in 20 minutes. But we would be expecting that we get a little higher, more displacement, because we made the early P2. But at the end, it are based on statistics. How many times it happens? It's based on data. What is the highest probability? So you never sort of know, because we also hit like confidence targets, and they are based like how big is chance that we make this movement. So you see like there was 90% confidence targets we would, if the low holds, that we would hit 121.732. We hit it during the session. So yeah, and the and also and if we would go for the short, there's also 9% confidence target. So we hit these levels. So it says okay, but you can go for more displacement. It is, yeah, you have to figure out how it works, but it's quite interesting. And then we can go quickly to the daily. For daily, we use enough points. For the daily, it says like it is more bearish. The session was quite sort of bullish, but on the daily, it says like there's a 31% risk we take out the high. That is not too much. It's 1/3. And then it's unlikely that the P2 is in, so it is looking for a new P2. But on the daily, the P2 is still low, so we also need to have a flip risk. This is different with the session, and then on statistically on the distance, we need to move, because we only moved like 0.8%, and that is nothing in these days. And also the flip risk is 36%. So that should be bearish. But then we didn't hit any confidence targets for like to have like before we're going down or before we're going up. So yeah, it's a weird one. And on the weekly were also quite bearish. So yeah, it's interesting. I think I'm not sure if I'm explaining it very well, but it's something to look at and what can be. Oh, I need to put some more data points.
No, it's a really interesting lens to look through, and
Yeah,
I know from a sort of quantitative finance point of view, it is trying to find those edges and those correlations. Ultimately, I think we do see a pattern in certainly in traditional assets, but in Bitcoin in particular, we do see quite a lot of these recurring patterns, given sort of the nature of it, of how small it is relative, and how, I won't say artificial, but how it a lot of the price action isn't totally organic. We will see some of these patterns, and so making sense of the data really does sort of help paint that picture of what we might expect, particularly sort of from the intraday moves, but also those sort of those longer term moves.
yeah. I mean, you can also look at the monthly, but I think the monthly is not really the best because you don't have enough data. Yeah,
No,
you have like
no.
there's a maximum of data. The monthly also changed a lot. Like also for Forex, I think I'm also trying to look at some Forex stuff, and I think there it is way more clear because Forex is always ranging, and there's not like a different movement in it. So yeah, it is interesting. And you also as you look at the confidence targets, there are quite a lot of times they're like also at like liquidity base points. There's like not random. It's not like you get a random line on your chart. There's like some thought behind it. So yeah, so there was like a quick overview how I look at it. So like for today, with the data we got bearish for the week for the daily. I think if I was look at chart, maybe we get a liquidity grab upwards and then we go down again to make some more movement. But I was hoping that it would come before 2 p.m.
Yeah,
or 1 in UK time because of the data. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm using it like this week. I'm really focusing more and more into it. I read a lot about it before, and the company makes a lot of content about how you to read it, how to look at it, and this is really interesting because yeah, I think I like it is sort of because I enjoy math. It's like a nerdy thing, but I like it. I like to think how it would work and how much percentage chances. Like at the end, it's all statistically based,
yeah. It's
but it can help
probability.
with your bias. It's
Yeah,
probabilities, and that is
yeah,
something what definitely exists in trading probabilities. And yeah, it can make it a little bit more maybe harder, like complex. But yeah, it works, and they got like quite some different classes. They didn't add gold yet. There was quite some. They're having some trouble with adding gold, but they have like stock indexes, forex, and then they got like the major ones. So you can also look at
okay.
these markets. And I think like if you got like a old market like forex or you have data, you can use 10 years of data.
Yeah.
It's interesting. And then for crypto, I was also looking at if you do like 2 years or 1 year, because 1 year ago Trump came in power, sort of. That's also interesting. You see some differences.
Yeah. Can you split data up? I'm just thinking if we talk about things from a cycle perspective. So could you add, rather than one continual period, could you add sort of just maybe like 6 months of each cycle?
Let me take a look. But also the team is really nice. You can definitely always reach out to them. I will
Yeah.
check. I didn't check that
That,
yet. And they're like also building. They're also like thinking how
yeah.
can we expand, how to do this and that. Maybe you can add this thing. Uh,
If not, we've just given them a very good idea to look at, because I think that would be really interesting to be able to split stuff up into an sort of almost off that cycle comparison.
yeah, because you can do like the last 5 weeks in a way, but then same as 5 weeks. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think they
it
got it yet, but it wouldn't be too hard to implement, I would say.
yeah, it's really
Uh,
interesting,
yeah, you can.
a really interesting product.
Yeah, I think like
Um,
because you have a lot of data, you can do stuff with it. And
yeah,
maybe it takes some time to understand how it works, but for me, I think it's worth it to look at it. And no, you cannot do that yet, but it will definitely come. That's something I'm
yeah,
certain of. But you can, because it's not too hard to implement because you need to change this bit um, to do
yeah.
that, and that should be quite
You're
easy
just adding a
changeable.
break in.
Yeah, you need to add a break, and it is not that hard to implement, I would say. But yeah, it is interesting. I would definitely suggest you to join the Discord. They got like a free Discord.
Yeah,
You can ask questions there. The founders are always online over there, and they also keep building. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm still learning it, but I found it really exciting and definitely helped with my bias. Like yesterday straight, I saw
mm.
like there were like big warnings flagging. I'm not able to show the warnings because they were in the past. I don't think I made a screenshot. But there were some big warnings that we should go up first before going down further on the weekly bias.
Yeah,
And yeah,
agreed.
at the end, we always say like the news is there for volume, but the price goes where it wants. But yeah, there are also the statistics where it needs to go, and that's also happening. We can see.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
It's mm.
yeah,
Yeah. For those who want to check this out, it's called Brighter Data, isn't it?
yeah, it is there in the top corner in the left.
Yeah,
Maybe
Brighter Data.
I can filter here. There could be a way that it is maybe already possible because they told me that added data limit sort. There were some options that they want you they want the people to use as much as possible because they say like we got all the data, we got like the thing. So maybe it's already possible and I don't know how to do it, but I will already send a message to the founder if he knows if that is possible, and then I will let you know how it works. But I also see Justin in the chat telling us about Euro USD. It's playing
Yeah,
exactly how he said. And that is right.
yeah.
And thank you for the signal. I made some gains on the short, and now I'm trying to long it, looking to add maybe when we go lower, and there will be a swing trade. So thank you, my man.
Very nice. Any other trades on your horizon? I've not really got too
Uh,
much on my radar.
yeah, I got a lot on my radar. Like for today, for today, I'm looking that we get like because of the confidence targets here. Wait, I will quickly check if I can also share my screen. So I was hoping that we want a bearish continuance, but I was hoping we will get maybe to like. Oh wait, then I have to. Let me quickly screen share another screen. The BNB, the BTC, this one. Can you pop it up?
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah, I was looking at this was my setup yesterday. Um, I I'm hoping we will get like because if we got the confidence targets for a bullish day, we already got some highs, so we don't need too much higher. But I think we can get this liquidity out, maybe go to the previous day point of control. There's some liquidity laying there, maybe a little higher, but then we go down, we go for a new weekly low because we need to make some movement on the weekly. The weekly we had quite a boring week and it is not happening too many times. So I'm still expecting volume. Friday is normally doomed for some volume. Yesterday we had a lot, but I think today we will get a bit more even. Maybe not more, but we still need to movement because we didn't move today. The market makers didn't do anything yet, and that is something that never happens. Like we are in a bull market, I don't think we will get a slow day. Always at
Yeah,
some point we're getting something. And
yeah.
then
It felt slow yesterday. Yeah, I've got there's a few things on my watch list today that I'm monitoring out. I'm in a few options that are quite nicely in the money, so I'll be seeing how to properly play those out. But I'm currently, and I won't give much away because I'm writing it up at the minute, but I'm doing a little bit of research into something that I spotted doing some Inspector Cluedo work over this week that could potentially play out. So I'll there'll be more on that next week. But I've got a little thesis that I'm working on that that involves some interesting stocks that I'm looking at.
Yeah. Also, I bought some Solana. I longed 218 because that is, if you look back, it is a big resistance. Here it was resistant, support, resistant. We broke two, was support over here. Some consolidation went down. We broke, we retested, we got supported, and now I think we are getting we're getting it. We will maybe get some rise of it. So I'm long on Solana. I'm still in my ETH long. I really just didn't get stopped out over here. I was really happy when I saw, because yesterday I went somewhere in the evening and I saw it just didn't touch my stop loss. So that made me really happy. And then
I like that.
I'm long on Link, but that was my long-term position from the 280 zone.
Yeah.
There's also, this on the 15, you see there's some nice support. There was resistance like in this range. And I have this coin, I was really hoping, but now I took some losses on my spot holdings. I have some, it is like going down only. It's going down season here. I was like hoping we can get back here, but then we broke the all-time low again.
Yeah, some are getting absolutely
shit on
battered.
Yeah.
There's some horrendous alts, and there's some that are doing quite well. It'll be interesting to see it plays out. Tau's having a very good day.
Yeah, I saw some message about it. Where is it?
Yeah, and Zora is up again. I can't believe.
Oh, whoa! Tau is 11.5% up.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he's ready to short it. Not sure. UOM.
Yeah, good data point.
You got the unemployment rate of the are coming up today. UOM is coming at 4 or 3 UK time, so you can expect some. You can expect something from that. That would be really interesting. But I will quickly, if you want to share your screen, I will be away for 5 seconds because I really need to go to the bathroom.
I'm looking at Zora and I'm very annoyed that I didn't play this one properly because look at that. That is just textbook. Yeah, it is just like whack-a-mole on here, though, isn't it? Just 30%, 11%. Quite a lot of green, which is interesting. Dave's call doing very, very well. This one's on my radar. XVG. Crypto Coding Fitness. Are you long Aster? I may or may not be. Yeah, I'm long Aster. I can show you here. I'm long from 154. So the first setup was so nice, I had to play it twice. So So I've gone for this exact same setup again on Asta. Whether or not I get the same outcome, we'll see. But yeah, it felt quite funny. But yeah, I got filled. It filled me at 154 on here because for some reason, I've got the MEXC chart here, but the Asta chart, the pricing slightly off. Because it wicked down. When it wicked down to 156, it filled me at 154 on Asta. So I think there's a bit of an interesting spread on there. But yeah, Asta, for me, it was a relatively simple trade. Hold here, push up, and you can just trim as we go. I won't get excited about this personally until we flip and hold above this 211 line. If we flip above there, we probably dip into here for some fuel and come back first. Do I think it'll run? Potentially. Do I particularly want to hold it until $4? Probably not. What else? I had a little nibble on this yesterday. It fell into a zone of interest.
What's the ticker? I could not read it.
This is AVNT. It's a DEX, a perpetual DEX. Speaking of DEX, do I reveal it on stream? I'm going to gatekeep it, but I'll send the people a update. But quite a trusted friend of mine put a DEX that's currently doing an ICO up. It's built on Hyperliquid and has some quite significant backing. So yeah, I'm going to drop that one in my newsletter. So yeah, I'll if you sign up on there, I'll you'll see what exactly I'm doing. But I think it's an interesting one for sure. It was put onto my radar by quite an interesting person in the industry. So it should be
a good signal.
Yeah, it does look really good. Like I was looking at the website, fantastic. It's a perp DEX that also has a card that has, and it's pretty cool.
Is it possible for me to know it or not?
It is. I'll send you a message after.
Thinking
afterwards, because they're currently raising for that one. But yeah, I'll drop some. I'll put that in my newsletter that I'll send out tomorrow or over the weekend.
How can they subscribe to your newsletter? Put the link in.
I know the link is in the description. Yeah, I'm going to get a bit more active on the newsletter because I've got to start spilling some of my alpha somewhere. But there's a few stocks that are on my radar as well that I quite like. So we'll see. But yeah, interesting though. I think the market will play out quite interesting. Like I say, I'm still mostly focused on stocks. There's some really nice stuff on my newsletter, on my radar. I mean, I've been bellowing on about this one for ages. Anyone who's listened to me rant and rave about looking through what Nvidia's invested in, etc. This one, I did chuckle at this one. So this one soared stupid yesterday on the news that their robots, rather than being used to serve any good of humanity, will be used by DoorDash to deliver Americans fast food.
Sounds interesting.
There's a very good use case. I guess at least if you get food delivered by a robot, there's no judgment. This thing is just nuts. Yeah, I think this thing might actually be one of my favorite things of the year. It's a Dutch company as well, Nebius.
Nebius.
Yeah. It's listed in the US, but it's Dutch. It's basically the core weave of, it's like the Dutch core weave. Speaking about Dutch, this one is
ASML,
one.
a chip company. Yeah. That's one I definitely know. It's like Dutch proud.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think now we're seeing more of this AI chip race. I've liked this thing for a while, but I think from a chart perspective, you can see we've had this quite aggressive run up. I think if you can get an entry round here, it's probably quite nice. There's some really good stuff. I mean, the stocks are running quite hard at the minute anyway, but there's some really nice stuff that's on my radar. Some nice crypto fuckery that Dave and I have spoken about. This thing at some point would have a bounce. It's currently up 100. It's even more now pre-market. I actually bought.
What is Tesla doing today? Do you know?
Let's have a look.
Because I'm long on Tesla.
Tesla is up marginally. I actually had a couple of nice back tests on it, but it feels for me like Tesla, certainly on the daily, is just grabbing some fuel from here.
Yeah.
As you can see, this is a mega liquid. This is a mega area here for when it comes to sell orders. Like, there's probably a lot of people who have been waiting a while to get out of positions here.
Yeah, I won't tell where my TP is, but I think you already mentioned it.
Yeah.
It is exactly over there. Yeah, someone told me about Tesla. I was like in a different group, and he was talking about how to trade Tesla because he used to trade new Nasdaq and Tesla mostly lately.
Yeah.
He did first mostly Nasdaq, S&P, and now he moved S&P to Tesla. And he was telling me his explanation. I took it along with him. It's interesting. It's interesting. He trades New York Open, and he looks at the levels. He has one TP, one stop loss. He never goes to break even.
Yeah.
And he said like it's moon or dust. Always like in one risk reward.
I love that. Yeah, I was fairly similar. So for me, for Tesla, the thing that I liked is, and I know we've just slagged off trend lines and how much I hate them, but you had quite an interesting uptrend there combined with this range high. And this high I found quite interesting because as you can see, it was rejection, then it was an impulse, came down, rejection, rejection, rejection. And so for me, the closer we worked up to here, like this liquidity zone here was a really nice spot. But for me, you could get excited when you broke this.
Yeah, definitely.
We
missed the trade.
Yeah, the Mag 7 I think is an interesting one though. Like I just discussed with Dave.
Yeah, you're both shorting it.
Yes. I mean, I think some more than others. I think Microsoft feels like it's on the way out. That felt like a bit of a blow off top. But it's creeping up again slightly. Meta, I'm less sure on because Meta is actually doing quite well. And Meta was the one that lagged behind the most. If you look at that, it also had, I think, probably one of the sharpest retraces of them. Apple, I'm a bit more bearish on for Apple. I think Apple, for me, I looked at it and you had what did look like a breakdown, but it broke out, tickled this all-time high. But for me, I think now Apple begins to look a little bit more scary. Nvidia feels like it's trying to squeeze what's left out in the tube. Google was nuts. And then obviously Amazon feels in a weird zone, but I mean, I don't have any urge to go long on any of these.
No.
I'm going to go fully short. What other plays? Oh, this is one that I've chatted with Dave about, and I'm well happy with this one. Is our friend Dave didn't have the patience, but Dave and I mapped out an entry for this. And waited very, very patiently. And it came in. So I was long from down here. Probably will start to look to take profits as we come into here. If we do, by some miracle, get a full reversion, it's a mega trade. But yeah, I quite like SMCI. In terms of when we talk about breakouts, this is one that if it's not on your radar, I think probably should be. Obviously, you can see it's had a strong few weeks, so you'd maybe look for a rejection off. But this feels like some of the other patterns. Like if you look to loosely chart, you'd just go,
Yeah.
put a trend line on underneath.
Ah, we got a signal. You can long Bitcoin. Signals received, Tristan. Signal from our big signal channel. Yeah, I'm also still my longs. But I'm looking to cash them out all today. Only my big swing positions, but the other ones, also my ETH, I want to cash out. But I quickly have to say that I sadly have to leave because I have some things I need to do for my studies, and I want to look at the market at like 4 o'clock, and when we get all the news.
I need to go to the gym before I'm on Wolf Crypto at 3 o'clock today to talk all things crypto. And then the streams will be back next week. I need to arrange with Justin and Dave, but the Wise Men should be back on Tuesday. I also am currently lining up some guests for the week that should be quite interesting. I won't delve too much into who they are, but they'll be quite interesting, certainly, because they're people from outside the CSE community. So it'll be quite nice to get some different perspectives in different areas as well. They've very much got their fingers in different pies, so that should be fun. And yeah, outside of that, I will leave everyone be. Sign up to the newsletter or tune in next week where I'll be dropping the names of all of the stuff that I just mentioned, including the research report that I'm doing. And what else did I mention? The ICO and the DEX. So yeah, I'm full of alpha today. It's pretty good. But yeah, take care, and I will see everybody later. So see you later. Bye.
Yes. Bye-bye.